7 secret income streams of the rich. They don't want you to know. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others work 60-hour weeks for decades and still struggle financially? The difference isn't what most people think. If you ask a financial advisor about the secrets to wealth, they'll likely tell you there aren't any. Just work hard, live below your means, and save every penny. That's the advice they give to everyday Americans. But here's the shocking truth. Studies show that the average millionaire has 7 different income streams, while most Americans rely on just one paycheck. This single difference explains why the wealth gap continues to widen regardless of how hard most people work. What the wealthy don't want you to know is that they're not dependent on salaries like the rest of us. They've built sophisticated income-generating systems that work for them 24/7, creating wealth while they sleep. Today, I'll reveal 7 secret income streams that the truly wealthy use to build fortunes, strategies they rarely discuss publicly because the more people who know about them, the less advantageous they become. Stay until the end for the most powerful income stream of all, one that over 90% of Americans have never even considered but could potentially double or triple your path to financial freedom. How many income streams do you currently have? Type your answer in the comments below. You might be surprised how you compare to others watching this video. Let me reveal the first secret income stream that truly wealthy people are using to build fortunes while most Americans remain stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Commercial rental real estate. The wealthy understand something fundamental that most working Americans miss. You'll never get rich by trading time for money. While the average person focuses on climbing the corporate ladder for a bigger salary, the wealthy focus on acquiring assets that generate consistent cash flow without requiring their personal time or effort. The uncomfortable truth is that the path to wealth isn't through your paycheck. It's through owning income-producing assets. As Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, emphasizes, the key difference is whether you work for money or your money works for you. Commercial real estate represents one of the most powerful vehicles for this passive income generation. Consider James, who spent 15 years climbing the corporate ladder to earn $200,000 annually. Impressive by most standards. Meanwhile, his college roommate Michael started with a small 4-unit apartment building, gradually expanding to a portfolio of office buildings and retail spaces. Today, Michael's properties generate over $500,000 yearly without requiring his daily involvement. While James must continue working to maintain his lifestyle, Michael has achieved true financial freedom through passive income. What makes commercial real estate particularly attractive is its combination of ongoing cash flow, appreciation potential, and significant tax advantages. Unlike residential properties where profits might range from $200 to $500 monthly per unit, commercial properties often command higher rents with longer leases and more stable tenants. Additionally, commercial real estate tends to appreciate based on income performance rather than neighborhood comparisons, giving owners more control over property value. This focus on income-producing assets rather than salary growth connects directly to our second secret income stream, one that the wealthiest investors have used for decades to generate reliable income regardless of market conditions: dividend income from major stock holdings. While most Americans chase quick stock gains through hot tips and market timing, the truly wealthy build massive portfolios of quality companies that pay them handsomely every quarter without ever selling a single share. The wealth-building reality most financial advisors won't emphasize is that dividends, not price appreciation, have historically generated roughly 40% of the stock market's total returns. What's even more powerful is that dividend income continues regardless of market volatility, creating cash flow you can reinvest or live on without liquidating assets during downturns. Take Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway as the perfect example. While many see Buffett as a brilliant stock picker, few realize that his holdings generate over $5 billion annually in dividend income alone. His positions in companies like Coca-Cola, Bank of America, and Apple pay him whether the market is up, down, or sideways. This dividend income provides both stability during market turbulence and capital for new opportunities without selling existing positions. Unlike trading strategies that require constant monitoring and perfect timing, dividend investing rewards patience and long-term thinking. The wealthy don't obsess over daily market movements. They focus on the underlying business performance and the growing income stream provides. As Peter Lazaroff, Chief Investment Officer at Plancorp, notes, successful investing is about time in the market, not timing the market. While most investors hesitate waiting for the perfect moment, the wealthy understand that consistent investment combined with favorable conditions creates wealth. The practical approach begins with building a portfolio of what investors call dividend aristocrats, companies that have not only paid but increased their dividends for 25 plus consecutive years. Stocks like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, and 3M have rewarded shareholders with rising income through multiple recessions, market crashes, and economic cycles. Even started with just $100 monthly, and these stable dividend payers can build substantial income over time. This passive income approach connects naturally to our third wealth building secret, one that allows the rich to own businesses without sacrificing their freedom or lifestyle. Outsource business ownership. The wealthy have discovered a powerful truth. You can own a business without managing its daily operations. While most entrepreneurs burn out trying to do everything themselves, the truly wealthy separate ownership from management, allowing them to earn profits from multiple businesses simultaneously. Here's the reality most struggling business owners never grasp. Working in your business creates a job. Working on your business creates wealth. The wealthy don't aim to be irreplaceable in their companies. They build systems and hire talented people to run operations, freeing them to focus on strategic growth or new opportunities. Consider Jacqueline, who owns 7 home healthcare franchises generating over $400,000 in annual profit. She spends just 5 to 10 hours weekly on high-level oversight, having installed experienced managers in each location. She's created what wealth experts call absentee ownership, businesses that function perfectly well without the owner's daily presence. This model allows her to enjoy both financial returns and lifestyle freedom simultaneously. Robert Wilson, a prominent financial advisor, notes, the poor and middle class believe self-employment is risky, but the wealthy know that risk creates opportunity and allows them to focus entirely on growing their companies. This principle explains why over 1,400 of the world's billionaires built their wealth through business ownership rather than employment. The practical path doesn't require millions in startup capital. Consider starting with a proven franchise model where systems are already established, or acquire an existing profitable small business where you can install management. Another approach is partnering with operational experts. You provide capital while they provide daily management, sharing profits accordingly. The key is focusing on businesses with strong margins that can afford professional management while still generating owner profit. Have you ever considered owning a business without managing its daily operations? Type business owner in the comments if this approach appeals to you. This separation of time from income connects directly to our fourth wealth secret, creating assets that pay you repeatedly from work done once. Royalties from intellectual property. Create once, earn indefinitely. While most Americans trade hours for dollars, the wealthy build assets that generate income for years or decades after the initial work is complete. This create once, earn repeatedly approach represents one of the most overlooked paths to financial independence. The transformative truth is that intellectual property, copyrights, patents, trademarks, and content can continue generating revenue long after you moved on to other projects. Unlike traditional employment, where income stops when you stop working, properly structured intellectual property creates ongoing royalty streams that require minimal additional effort, effectively severing the link between your time and your income. Consider Michael, a former corporate trainer who transformed his presentation materials into an online course. The initial creation took 6 months of evenings and weekends, but that course has now generated over $300,000 in passive income over 5 years with just minimal updates. While his former colleagues continue trading time for paychecks, Michael has built an asset that pays him whether he's working, sleeping, or traveling. The wealthy recognize that intellectual property comes in countless forms: books, music, courses, software, patents, photography, even branded product lines manufactured by others. The common thread is creating something that solves a problem or delivers value to many people over time. Best of all, these assets often appreciate rather than depreciate. Unlike traditional investments that lose value, intellectual property frequently becomes more valuable as your audience or customer base grows. You don't need specialized expertise to begin building intellectual property. Start by identifying knowledge or skills you already possess that others would value. Perhaps it's a unique approach to your profession, a solution to a common problem, or specialized knowledge gained through experience. Transform this expertise into a format that can be sold repeatedly: an ebook, online course, licensed methodology, or subscription newsletter. Focus on creating exceptional quality rather than quick production, as the best intellectual property assets often generate income for decades. This focus on creating assets rather than earning income connects perfectly to our fifth wealth stream, one that gives the wealthy access to opportunities most Americans never see: private equity investments. While everyday Americans debate which stocks to buy on public exchanges, the wealthy access exclusive investment opportunities in private companies long before they reach public markets. These investments often deliver returns that dwarf typical market performance, creating wealth acceleration that public market investors simply cannot match. The sobering reality is that many of the most lucrative investment opportunities never reach public markets until after the majority of growth has already occurred. When companies like Uber, Facebook, or Airbnb finally became available to everyday investors through IPOs, early private investors had already multiplied their money many times over. This pattern repeats consistently across industries and economic cycles, with private equity investors capturing the most dramatic growth phases, while public investors receive the leftovers. Justin Kumar, senior portfolio manager at Arlington Capital Management, observes, "The wealthy always have three close friends: a lawyer, an accountant, and an advisor. They understand how to use laws and tax regulations to increase their wealth over time, and they never hesitate to pay substantially for valuable advice." This network of professional connections often provides access to private investment opportunities that never reach the general public. Private equity investments typically deliver returns between 15 to 25% annually compared to the stock market's historical 8 to 10% average. These enhanced returns compound dramatically over time, helping explain how the wealthy build fortunes while middle-class investors struggle to keep pace with inflation. Additionally, these investments often come with significant tax advantages that further enhance real returns. While traditional private equity required millions to participate, new platforms have democratized access for accredited investors with as little as $25,000. Companies like AngelList, Our Crowd, and Fundrise now offer access to private companies, real estate development, and even venture capital funds previously restricted to institutional investors. For those with smaller amounts to invest, equity crowdfunding platforms like Republic and Start Engine allow investments starting at just $100 in early-stage companies. This access to exclusive investment opportunities naturally connects to our sixth secret income stream, one where the wealthy transform from borrowers into lenders. Advanced lending and financing strategies. The wealthy understand a fundamental principle that completely inverts how most Americans think about money. It's far more profitable to be the bank than the customer. While average people focus on maintaining good credit to borrow affordably, the wealthy create lending structures that generate substantial income with carefully managed risk. The paradigm-shifting reality is that lending offers some of the most consistent returns available in any investment category. When properly structured with appropriate collateral, private lending can consistently yield 8 to 15% annually with lower volatility than stock markets. This explains why banking has created more generational wealth than perhaps any other industry. They profit from both interest income and security of collateralized loans. As financial consultant Robert Wilson explains, using your own dollars to invest is a risky game with extremely low potential returns. You need to know how to use bank money, investor money, or third-party money to generate profits for yourself. Furthermore, you must leverage laws and tax incentives from the government to your advantage. Consider Elizabeth, who began by providing a $75,000 private mortgage to a real estate investor at 10% interest. The loan was secured by the property itself, significantly reducing risk. That single transaction generated $7,500 annual income while preserving her principal. She gradually expanded this approach, eventually creating a seven-figure private lending operation that generates over $120,000 annually, all without the volatility of stock markets or the demands of property management. For those with smaller amounts to deploy, platforms like Prosper and Lending Club allow participation in consumer lending starting at just $25 per loan. Real estate lending platforms like Peer Street and Ground Floor enable participation in property-backed loans with minimums as low as $1,000. These platforms handle all servicing and collection activities, creating truly passive income streams. Have you ever explored private lending as an income strategy? Type private investing in the comments if you're interested in learning more about accessing this market. Our final secret income stream reveals how the ultra-wealthy protect and optimize their assets across generations, creating structures that preserve wealth while maximizing tax efficiency. Trust funds and advanced asset structures. While most Americans focus solely on accumulating wealth, the truly rich develop sophisticated strategies to protect, optimize, and transfer their assets with minimal taxation or legal exposure. These structures don't just preserve wealth, they actually generate additional income streams while providing remarkable security. The wealth-preserving truth that financial advisors rarely discuss with average clients is that proper asset structuring can be as important as the investments themselves. The wealthy use entities like family limited partnerships, charitable remainder trusts, and dynastic trusts not just for estate planning, but as active income generating vehicles that provide tax advantages while protecting assets from creditors, lawsuits, and other threats. Consider the Rockefeller family, whose wealth has persisted for 6 generations despite significant estate taxes and market volatility. Their carefully structured trust system has not only preserved capital, but also generated ongoing income for family members while supporting philanthropic efforts. These structures created a financial ecosystem that continues functioning effectively long after the original wealth creators pass away. Justin Kumar notes, the wealthy understand that final value matters more than initial cost, so they're extremely careful with every decision. This explains why affluent families willingly spend substantial sums on legal and financial expertise to create optimal asset structures. They recognize the long-term return on this investment far exceeds the initial expense. For those without 9-figure portfolios, simplified versions of these strategies remain accessible. Consider establishing a revocable living trust to avoid probate costs and ensure privacy. As assets grow, explore more sophisticated options like family limited liability companies that provide liability protection while facilitating tax-efficient wealth transfers. Even modest estates benefit from proper structuring that maximizes what passes to heirs while minimizing unnecessary taxation. The key insight is that wealth must be properly structured to be truly durable. Without appropriate legal protections, even substantial assets remain vulnerable to numerous threats ranging from litigation to taxation to family disputes. Have you explored how trust structures might protect your assets? Type wealth protection in the comments if you're interested in learning more about securing your financial legacy. While most Americans depend entirely on earned income, the truly wealthy build multiple income sources that function with minimal personal involvement. Rather than simply trading hours for dollars, the wealthy create or acquire assets that generate income whether they're working or not. This fundamental shift from earning to owning is what ultimately creates true financial freedom. The question isn't whether these strategies work. History has repeatedly demonstrated their effectiveness across generations and economic cycles. The real question is which of these income streams you'll begin developing first, and how you'll incorporate it into your own journey toward financial independence. Remember, the path to wealth isn't through your salary. It's through systematically building assets that work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without requiring your constant attention. The wealthy understand what most Americans never learn. You won't achieve financial freedom through a paycheck alone. As Robert Kiyosaki emphasizes, the key isn't working for money, it's making money work for you. Thomas Corley's research shows that 67% of wealthy individuals write down their financial goals, turning vague wishes into concrete plans. Your journey toward financial independence begins with a single step, adding just one additional income stream. Which of these 7 will you start building this week? Perhaps it's purchasing your first dividend stock, exploring a small rental property, or creating intellectual property based on your expertise. One new income source can transform your financial trajectory. Comment multiple streams below if you're committed to creating at least one new income stream this year. I read every comment, and would love to hear which strategy resonates most with you. In our next video, I'll provide a step-by-step guide to building your first rental property income stream, including how to start with as little as $5,000 and scale to 6 figures of passive income. Remember, financial freedom isn't about working hard at your job. It's about systematically building income sources that work for you whether you're at the office, asleep, or enjoying life. The wealthy aren't just better savers. They're better income creators. And now, you have the blueprint to do exactly the same.